Welcome. In our channel. Drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from. I'm super curious. They were everywhere and we were completely surrounded. Felt like all hope was lost. But then I remembered the phrase my grandma had taught me so many years ago. I whispered it under my breath and suddenly, my powers kicked in. Yes, this is the best day of my life. But before you get to witness me kicking some serious bad guy but with my super cool powers, you need to know the full story. So, once upon a time in a not-so-magical place, there was a girl named Kiara. She had trust issues. Honestly, how could she trust someone who forgets her birthday, uses her toothbrush to groom his eyebrows, and even tricked her into marrying him? She was so naive back then. Yeah, naive. You've seen that part before. Remember the vending machine incident? He knocked it over because his coin got stuck and then blamed her. And what about when he babysat their neighbor's kid? He gave the poor child cough syrup just to make him sleep. And don't even get her started on the time he decided to wash the vacuum motor in the sink. Okay, maybe he wasn't thinking clearly with the vending machine thing. And yeah, the kid did need a nap. As for the vacuum, hey, it said washable filter. How was he supposed to know the motor wasn't part of that? He's just thorough. Alright, okay, time out. Let's take a deep breath and think of 5 reasons why they chose each other in the first place. Well, they didn't exactly choose each other. Maybe they should start from the beginning. Kiara, go first. Hi, my name is Kiara and I'm from... Oh, you already know that. Just let her talk before I tell you my story. Like, and subscribe. Like what? Subscribe where? What are you talking about? Stop interrupting me, Nicholas. Okay, my bad. Please keep going, honey. Kiara had a happy life growing up in a huge family in the countryside of Macedonia. Their house was tiny but packed with people. Living under one roof were her mom, dad, uncle, her aunt, their 3 kids, her mom's sister, her dad's stepsister, her sister and grandma. Oh, and also Ander, Bruno, 3 cats, 2 iguanas, and even... Well, never mind that dragon. That was just her nephew Marcos. Privacy. Forget about it. But somehow they were still happy. Chaotic but happy. They were so poor that everyone had to pitch in while the parents and uncles worked. Kiara joined her grandmother at the town fair, where she ran a healing stall selling herbs and homemade remedies. A dash of this, and your headache will take a head hike. Since she was a kid, Kiara loved learning from Grammy. She was so wise and mixing potions with her was so fun. Kiara felt like a real wizard, even if she wasn't great at it at first. It was like watching a monkey try to make an omelette. Only 2 drops of Bocchi's essence. Ah, this is impossible. But Grammy always told her, be patient. Whenever you feel there is no hope, just remember these words. Well, honestly, Kiara doesn't remember the exact words. Her grandmother was always teaching her different phrases in her old language, and Kiara had no clue what they meant. Something like a not plenus mea vito. What was that anyway? Some kind of mantra or prayer? No, turns out it was just the new Wi-Fi password. Grammy used to say she learned everything from her great-grandmother, who was the best healer in the region. You are just like me and her. You too have the gift. When Kiara was 12 and going through aggressive puberty, some kid told her she stunk after gym class. I'll show you who stinks. So she created her first potion, one that made sweat smell like a bouquet of jasmine. This is the Jasma Whiff Potion, because who needs deodorant when you can have a magical garden in your armpits? Side effects may include dizziness, depression, hair loss, putty fatigue, extreme hair growth, temporary blindness, and bad odor. Okay, it wasn't perfect, but don't be so harsh. It was her first potion. Grammy was really proud of her. That same night, Grammy gave her something very special, her necklace. This family heirloom has been in our family for generations. Now it's your turn to carry it. Put it on. Do you like it? Not really. It's ancient and old and way too ugly for me. Definitely not my style. What's wrong with you? Well, that's a big question. Kiara didn't know why she blurted that out. It seemed like she didn't care about the impact of her words. But she really did. She still loved her grandma. More than anything. But over the years, she didn't get any better at holding back her truth. It was like she was a professional snitch. Whenever she saw any wrongdoing, she would report it. Like the time Marcos tried to hide the fact that he peed on the couch by flipping the cushion over. "What's that smell?" Marcos peed on the couch. Oops. That day, her sister had her first date. Mom covered the smell with talcum powder, but the guy sat right there. "Is your sister ready?" "It's kind of damp here." "Oh, just water." "No, that's actually Marcos's pee. And she's almost ready. She's just finishing stuffing her bra." "Tiara, I'm going to kill you." And that was Kiara's life. Just a regular teenage alchemist, you know? But everything changed when she turned 16. A royal envoy visited her village, and her school organized a talent fair in their honor. Now what an honor, to watch a bunch of clumsy teens trying to perform. Not him, he was awesome. He was her favorite. While most girls sang or danced, Kiara did a potion show. She was like a true wizard, creating something absolutely revolutionary. This potion can transform anybody into an amazing dancer. She needed a volunteer. "Principal Pandev, come on. Drink the potion and feel the music." He drank it, and then started dancing like he was in a K-pop group. After such a display of magic, Kiara obviously won the contest. But the prize was more than she had bargained for. Turns out the royal envoys weren't just there to admire their talents on behalf of the royal court. "We would like to ask you for your hand in marriage, for the count. It is tradition that the count marries the most talented girl in all the land." Wait, what? Did she just win a marriage proposal? If this sounds like Cinderella or another Disney princess, well, she kind of was. Don't you dare say another word. Anyway, she was just like a Disney princess, but she didn't want to marry some count she didn't even know. Was this the 10th century? She was more than ready to say no. But her family had been poor for so long. Her father had been fired recently, and her uncle had broken 4 ribs falling off his hammock while snoring. Grammy's stand wasn't doing well either. People preferred modern medicine these days. Boring, but boo. Kiara knew that marrying a count would be a game changer for them, going from nothing to something big. So she agreed, on the condition that they wouldn't get married until she turned 18. Still, she had to move to the count's castle, known as the Dragon Castle. The place was absolutely huge, like a mansion with rooms on rooms on rooms. Most of them were empty. Then she met her future mother-in-law. If this were a Disney movie, she'd be the wicked stepmother. Let's just say they didn't start off on the right foot. "I must say, you have a massive place. Imagine losing your remote control here. You'd need a rescue team to find it or a GPS. "Stop talking, Kiara. Beg you. We'll have the engagement party tonight. Get ready. Tonight. But my family isn't here." "That's a shame. But this isn't the kind of party for people like your family anyway." Kiara wanted to punch her. But before she knew it, she was captured by the maids who did her hair, makeup, and dressed her. The final result. Horrible. I look so horrible. My hair looks like Marie Antoinette's, and this dress is the ugliest one I've ever seen. That's the dress I and my mother and grandmother got engaged in. Well, not everybody has the class to pull it off. The class, you mean the big hips, right? Oh, I'm so sorry. I meant I'm just more of a pants girl. Yes, I can tell. The night came, and it was a giant masquerade ball. Everyone was so uptight. If they were noodles, they'd be straight up spaghetti sticks. Kiara felt so out of place that she took the first opportunity to sneak out. While trying to find her room, she got lost and ended up in the greenhouse. It was full of weird and exotic herbs and plants. Bingo! She started taking various plants and tucking them into her dress. Then someone caught her red-handed, or rather dirt-handed. "Are you stealing plants?" Even with the mask on, you can tell the guy was ridiculously good-looking. He also had a really cool dragon tattoo on his neck and chest. "I'm not stealing them. I'm just borrowing them. I'll return them later." "Right. What are you going to do with those anyway?" "Sell them on eBay." "No, for your information, I'm a healer. An alchemist." "That's so. Then show me." Kiara was about to tell him he wasn't some circus monkey performing tricks, but he seemed genuinely interested. And again, he was ridiculously good-looking. Hey, don't judge her. They sneaked into the kitchen, and Kiara started mixing ingredients. Soon, bubbles of all colors began pouring out and dancing in the air. Wow, that's really impressive. She turned around and he was right behind her. They stood inches apart. Okay, now you can judge her. It was her engagement party, and she was about to kiss a random guy. They returned to the ballroom, and cue the creepy thunder. Her soon-to-be mother-in-law entered. When she saw them, she smiled. Ah, so you two have officially met. Wait, you're Nicholas. My future husband. Nicholas smiled, but he didn't look as surprised as she was. She was expecting her future husband to be a nasty old man. But Nicholas was dreamy. Maybe this arranged marriage wasn't such a bad idea. Over the next few years they spent all their time together. He taught her how to behave like royalty. Well, she showed him how to do simple potions. Or at least how to try to do simple potions. In no time, we two fell completely in love. Once he returned from horseback riding with a small cut near his neck from a branch, while I was applying the potion to heal him. I couldn't help but ask, "What's the story behind that dragon tattoo?" He explained that a long time ago, their region was divided between 3 houses, and the dragon symbol belonged to the House of Draco, also known as the House of Warriors, the noble warriors of their land. Then why does your mother have a crow tattoo? That one belongs to the House of Valor, the most traditional and ambitious family in the kingdom. The royalty of royalty, if you will. And what about the 3rd house? Oh, there is no 3rd house anymore. The House of Zoria disappeared centuries ago. It was once associated with darkness and represented by an owl. Nobody belongs to it now. I didn't say anything back then, but deep down, I understood why his mother had such a dark symbol. She really was as creepy and controlling as a crow, always keeping watch, always interfering. After our wedding, she made sure I was separated from my own family. She sent them a TV and some monthly gifts like offerings, making it feel more like they had been bought rather than cared for. Not only could I not visit them, but even letters took forever to reach. All I wanted was to tell my mom that MasterChef was on right now, but instead it would take weeks for her to get the message. "Your house, your rules," I sarcastically told her. "And let me just say, your decorating style has all the charm of a tax audit." Nicholas tried to defend her. "Babe, I know she can be difficult sometimes, but she wasn't always like this. After we lost my dad, she became scared of losing those she loved. That's why she clings so tightly. Back then we only had each other. Now we have you too. So I really hope our love can endure this. What do you say? How can I say no to that? Course, babe. What can I say? Love is my only weakness." Well, love, potions, telling the truth, and those emotional videos where dads give their kids puppies. Those always get me. Soon enough I turned 18, and we had the biggest wedding of the century. I had never felt happier in my life. But after that, things really started going downhill. My mother-in-law got worse. She even had servants follow me around in the garden. Well, granted, the garden was over 1,000 acres, but still, every time I turned a corner, there was always someone watching. It was like she thought I might run away. Run away from what? From my handsome husband or our massive, slightly haunted castle. Something definitely wasn't right. One night, I decided to find out what was going on. I sneaked into the reading room while Nicholas and his mom were doing their Shakespeare reading hour. I hid under a desk and waited. For the first 45 minutes, they just read boring poetry, but I stayed focused. Finally, they started talking about something real. "The time to do the ritual is here," his mother said. "Ritual?" Froze. "Mother, how are you so sure that the witches, Kiara's great-great-great-grandmother, the one with the necklace, my necklace, is the key to lifting our curse?" She called me a moronic little girl. A moronic little girl. I couldn't believe it. These people were insane. And Nicholas, he had used me. He had lied to me. I felt crushed, betrayed. I needed to escape before anyone noticed I was gone. Before leaving, I wanted to make one thing clear. I was angry. Furious, actually. So I snuck into Nicholas's room. transformed his underwear into origami frogs, and sprinkled chili powder inside all his clothes. Then I jumped out the window and tried to sneak through the garden. But one guard spotted me. Soon I was surrounded. However, I had an ace up my sleeve, my explosive powder. I grabbed a handful and threw it. Boom! I took off running, but the guards caught up quickly, this time led by her. "Leave me alone, you monster-in-law." Just then, Nicholas came speeding toward us in a sports car. "Come with me." I jumped in and we sped away. As soon as the castle disappeared from sight, I reached into my bag to grab something to force him to talk. But all I found were mint leaves. Held one up. "These aren't just any herbs. Rub this on your head and puff, you'll go bald forever. Now start talking, you lying, deceitful snake." He finally confessed everything. Turns out, he believed I was the descendant of an ancient witch who cursed his ancestor after he stole her magical necklace. That necklace, the one I had, was supposed to make rulers fair and just, but he took it by force, unleashing a terrible curse on Nicholas's bloodline. Every male in his family died young, just like his father. His mother raised him his whole life to marry the witch's descendant, take the necklace, and break the curse. That was his whole purpose in life, until he met me and fell in love. Everything sounded completely nuts, but somehow I knew he wasn't lying. After seeing how stubborn I was, his mom realized I'd never hand over the necklace willingly. So she planned a horrifying ritual to force me to give it up. Nicholas couldn't let that happen. He said, "I'd rather have a short life with you than a long one without you." Okay, fine, that was sweet. But still, how could I trust him? Trust me, these are all tales. I'm not a witch, and there's no curse. Feel it. That should have been the happy ending of a romantic fantasy. Unfortunately, real life isn't that simple. After escaping, Nicholas and I ran for months, constantly moving to avoid his mother. Eventually, we settled in a big city, trying to stay unnoticed and build a new life. I tried to leave the past behind, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I couldn't fully trust him. Then, when I hit a vending machine and got into a fight with the police over it, they actually suggested we see a therapist. So that's why we're here. No matter how much I try to show her that I really love her, Kiera, I want to believe you. I really do. But how can I trust someone who lied for years and was ready to sacrifice me like a pawn? If you want my professional opinion, Nicholas is absolutely right. You need to learn to let go of the past and trust again. How? Start with something simple. Show us the necklace. Just for a moment. Prove that you can trust. What? Well, I'm not giving you my necklace. Okay, guess we're doing this the hard way. Mom. That's right. Don't try anything, we're surrounded. Guards burst from everywhere and captured us. They dragged us to an abandoned factory. Mom, stop. Let her go. Shut up. Bring my son to me. They grabbed Nicholas. I know you'll never give me that necklace, so let's try something different. If you don't give it to me right now, Nicholas will pay the price. Mom, shut up. You traitor. I'm counting to 3. Don't do it, Kiera. Okay, you win. Here. Just have it. But don't hurt him. After all this time. Finally, she had the necklace, and its power. How could you use me like that? Would you have done it? I would do anything for supreme power. Wait, that's not what I meant. What just happened? There was no curse at all. Was Kiera's ancestor a real witch? Course not. I made it all up to control you. Because I couldn't take the necklace by force alone. There was no curse. Her family weren't witches, they were healers. Our ancestors spread lies to exile them and steal their castles and wealth. So, their castle belongs to my family. And all this time we've been living in a mouse house. Why do I keep telling the truth? That's when it hit me. The necklace had real powers. But not the kind that blow people up or shoot lasers. Oh my gosh. The real power of the necklace is that the wearer can never lie. That's why I couldn't stop telling the truth. That's why I kept snitching on everyone. She raised her arms, summoning strength. The earth trembled, and lightning cracked across the sky. But nothing happened. What's wrong? The legend says this should give real power to its owner. You're not the real owner of the necklace. You're right. I'm not. Not as long as you're still alive. Guards, do it yourselves. So this is where we began. The guards were everywhere. We were completely surrounded. Hope seemed lost. Then I remembered my grandma's words. Whenever you feel there is no hope, just remember these words. Still, I couldn't remember exactly what they were. What the hell was it? I started shouting random phrases, anything that came to mind. Karam Avada Kedavra. Hakamada. Say hello to my little friend. Nothing worked. The guards were almost on us. Nicholas stood in front of me to protect me. And in that moment, the thought of losing him opened something inside me. It was like I was possessed. I screamed. Ape fail. Everything went haywire. The necklace flew from my mother-in-law's neck to mine. As soon as it touched my skin, a violent current of energy surged through me. It was impossible to explain. I felt like I was part of the earth, part of the air, and I could control it all. As the guards lunged at us, a mere flick of my wrist sent them flying. I floated in midair, lightning crackling around me. Nicholas grabbed a sword and helped me fight them off. Not that I needed much help, honestly. Soon, all the guards were either defeated or had fled. I landed back on the ground, and Nicholas ran to me, pulling me into a tight hug. Remind me to never make you mad again. My mother-in-law tried to crawl away, but we caught her before she could escape. Disagreements are normal in any family, right? Yeah, right. We put her in prison so she could never hurt anyone again. Then we moved into our new castle. Of course, my entire chaotic family came along. There were so many of us that even in a giant castle, we were packed like sardines. But we didn't care. You know what they say, true happiness is about being close to the people you love.